So my advice to the mining graduates or the professionals that are coming up is that you need to firstly strategize and strategically position yourself as a global graduate. You need to be able to fit. You must position yourself as a global graduate. You should be able to fit in your locality. You should be able to function well in your country. You should be able to function well in other countries like Africa. You should be able to function well in developed countries. So you should be able to compete with a mining graduate from a developed country like Canada, so that when you are all competing for, let's say, a master's degree funding for education, you will also be an option. So if you are only technically biased and not technologically biased, then you are being ruled out of the competition. Get your initial degree, but ensure that when Sierra Leone, Liberia, Congo, they need mining professionals and you get the opportunity, you can fit a role. So you leave the school, and if it's about mine optimization, you should be able to do mine optimization technically and technologically. If it's about drill and blast engineering, you should be able to function as a drill and blast engineer technically, that is in books, and technologically, that is using any tool. So the mining professional should position itself. You should also be business biased so that you can facilitate some business adventures even when you don't have a full scale job in the mines. You can support the banking industry that are providing funding to all these small scale mining companies, the large scale mining company. They need to vet their business plans, they need to vet their financial proposals, but they don't understand the mining business, but they understand the finances. You want to get in there. So the mining professional should be able to open his tentacles to be able to, you know, enter into every environment, because the competition is so great that 400 students that are graduating in a year, the best graduating student has got scholarship from one of the mines in Ghana, and they will give him a 1 year's working job. Now he is safe or she is safe. But then you, second class upper or lower, you didn't fall into that category. Some mining companies will pick some people and train them as graduate trainee 2 years. They may like to take two from your class. You may not be an option. The regulator will take five. You may not be an option. So how do you then position yourself? We should be globally sensitive, know the trends that are moving on. You know, Cayman, your software is there. Get in touch with them so they could, train you. You can be a marketer or you can be an advocate, a mouthpiece for them in Ghana. You go around the mines, have good networks, join student organizations. I'm a patron on one of them, the Australasian Institute of Mining and Metallurgy, the Takwa chapter. I've been a patron since it was founded in 2014 or 2015. Yes. So be part of them. We organize, or most of them organize webinars, workshops. They bring mining professionals, engage them, listen to the trends, listen to what they are saying. And, the lecturers can give you that much, but you can also learn some few, get your soft skills ready. You know how to engage people. So when you finish and the mining industry rejects you, we know people that, so in Ghana, when you finish school, you are initially positioned as a national service personnel where they position you in any office or any institution. So what you must do is that you should um, be able to work in every institution that they position you, right? If the government is putting you, it's done by a body, an institution. If they position you in, let's say, going to teach in an elementary school, and you are a graduate, I would prefer that you come to the university as a teaching assistant than going to teach in that elementary. But most of them don't have that smart level, excuse me to say that. Most of them, like, they just embrace that, elementary.
They go
They
with
go
the
with the
flow.
flow, you see. But our generation, the Gen Zs, they need to be strategic. Yes, yes.
And in terms of international market, I guess like when you actually looking for a job in like Canada or let's say Europe, how do you distinguish yourself from your competition? And I guess, is there any tricks that you know, let's say in resume? One of the things that I heard about is that they advise people to simplify their name, because like some of the people from African countries, they have like very long name that is hard to perceive for let's say Canadians or Europeans. Is this Do you think there is any truth to it, or is it just like some individual cases? And is there any tricks that you can do in terms of your resume, in terms of your approach when you, let's say, you already worked in Ghana, but you want to actually find your spot on the international arena and, like, let's say, move to Canada or move to, I don't know, Europe, America, anything like that?
Yeah, if I understand it rightly, um, I would say that the first time when I got to Wales, I was representing my scholarship team in Wales, or supporting one of the coordinators. And she said, she's from Jamaica. She said the first time she saw my name, she thought I was from China because I had upon in it. So yes. And also I've heard many comments from hiring managers and other staff how name affects their selection or their hiring process or their preferred candidate. Obviously, there's nothing that you can do about that if because you didn't give the name to yourself. But I know some people rebrand themselves, which is fine. And most or almost all hiring managers would always go to social media to set you up. So my first advice I give is, how do I want to brand myself? If a hiring manager sees my profile on social media handles, the first place they will go is LinkedIn because it's the acclaimed professional site. Some even go as far as checking TikTok, Facebook, and they want to see what you are doing with your life. So as a mining professional, you want to be free, and sometimes the challenge is the hiring manager, you don't know what they are looking out for. Someone may be looking out for somebody who is socially vibing well with the people around him. Some too want to be very studious or serious about the business. And so you need to package yourself. Your resume, these days, hiring managers don't review resumes. They allow AI to review it for them.
Mm.
So the AI has been instructed to look for some keywords. So you structure your resume based on the job advertisement. That's my first advice. And you see, it's very difficult to just say you are always or you are always fine tuning your resume to fit a particular job. Because if you don't have job and you are applying, I knew some of my mates from Wales. Someone told me he applied to over 120 jobs before she got a job.
Mhm.
120 mean that she was keeping track. So if you are going to apply for even 10 jobs and you want to be reviewing your resume, that is work. So most professionals, graduates especially, will just throw in their resume. They have a standard one. They see the job, then they throw it there. They throw it. So they don't get called for even the first stage of the interview. Why? Because AI will not even screen you as part of the preferred choice.
Mhm.
Maybe you may be better than those that are being screened out, but your presentation on your resume has ruled you out of the game.
Mhm.
So firstly, you need to look at your resume holistically, strategize it. Don't just use all the fancy styles that you hear or you know of, or
Mhm.
you heard a colleague got a job by doing this. No, you have to skill or format your resume to conform to the requirements. Let me give an example. They are looking for a project engineer that is good in scheduling and also designing using AutoCAD. You
Mhm.
can do all these things perfectly.
Mhm.
You've done project engineering before. You should be able to pick the word in the advert into your resume, because as soon as you upload your resume, it will be subjected into AI and it will pick all the keywords and rate you. I also know people who have been rated well by AI, and the hiring manager, one of the hiring managers I know, showed me the whole system and said, this guy, I know him from this particular mine. I'm not going to hire him because he's not good, even though AI is rating him number one. And that's advice to the hiring managers. Don't rely on technology, fully rely on technology. So I always like the hybrid system. We also have some, sense of judgment.
Mhm.
So that's how I'll advise the fresh graduates. Yes, I know some people change their names with time, but then there are some jobs also in Africa that also they prefer the local content.